Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope your day is going beautifully. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, another black man bites the dust. It was with some degree of regret that I saw that Jonathan Majors had been arrested. And for the reason that he was arrested, I thought was kind of shocking, because he really was not on my radar. I didn't know that much about him until recently. I know that he is starring in a movie with Michael B. Jordan and that he seems to be a young black actor on the rise. But I was impressed with him during the Academy Awards when he came up and said some words of encouragement to Angela Bassett when she didn't win the Oscar. I was impressed with that, and I thought it was a sweet gesture. And I also saw the picture of him on the cover of Vehemently magazine with that kind of very feminine looking outfit that he had on in pose. And I know that a lot of black men were like, what is he doing? And didn't like the cover or the pose. But he really wasn't on my radar until the Academy Awards, and I thought that was really nice. And then, of course, it came out that he was involved with a non-black woman, which is not surprising. I think we're learning not to be surprised by that. But reading the headline that had been blasted all over social media that he had been arrested for assault, and then learning that the victim of the assault was a white woman, at first I found it laughable, somewhat, not really laughable, but hilarious in an ironic kind of way. Ironic because we are still learning the same lessons over and over and over again, which also led me to the thought of stupid is still a word. So I'm not going to call this behavior by Jonathan Majors and men like him anything fancy like self-hatred, delusional, low self-esteem, or Stockholm Syndrome. I'm not going to call it anything like that. I'm going to call it what it is. Stupid. Stupid is still a word. We have 500 years in this country of people doing the same thing to us. But somehow there are black Americans who think that we can be the same people, dealing with the same people, doing the same things, and get a different outcome. And also thinking that we can transcend who we are, our history, our experiences, who we are as a people in the United States of America. Some black people seem to think that we can transcend this and become somebody different and get some different outcomes in the land of our captivity, because we're still in the land of our captivity. We haven't defeated these people, so they're still in control. I'm not really sure how many of these kinds of experiences that black American men will have to have, because the past just doesn't seem to be good enough. It doesn't seem to be a good enough lesson. The Emmett Till tragedy was about a 14-year-old black boy being lynched because a white woman lied on him. The Scottsboro boys was about 9 teenage boys being accused by 2 white women of violating them. One of them told the truth about what happened. They hadn't even come into contact with those boys. And she told the truth. Still, the state of Alabama was going to put those boys to death. Had it not been for the Communist Party of America, those young men, those teenagers, 13 to 20, would have lost their lives because these 2 white women lied on them. Wall Street, Black Wall Street, was burned down and destroyed because a white woman lied on a black man about something he had done to her. Black men have been strange fruit hanging from trees. Rivers and lakes have been drained looking for their bodies, or bodies have just washed up ashore from black men who met their destiny called death because a white woman lied on them. If a true accounting was given of the number of black men who have not only lost their lives, but their jobs, their livelihood, their reputation, or being destroyed in some way because a white woman lied on them, if that true story was told, it would be astounding. These men are self-destructive and they have a death wish. That is the only way that you can explain men who continue to sleep with the enemy. And let me be clear, because I'm not indicting all white women. I suppose that it is possible that a black man can find a white woman who will be very good for him. But you need to know something. You're going to have to come straight with that woman. You are not going to do all this shucking and jiving and scheming and scamming and all of this running around and being deceitful with these white women, because they can and they will weaponize white men against you. And no matter how many times you say you didn't do it, if she says you did it, your ass is going to jail. She is in control. So you can stop this gaslighting black women, stop trying to shame and humiliate black women, and stop trying to make black women jealous of you with white women. Because if a black woman is going to be jealous of a white woman, the only kind of white woman that black women ought to be jealous of is a white woman with a white man, because she's got the best life. Because the white woman that you're with is not anybody that black women need to be jealous of. And I have something else I want to say. Black women have put up with abuse from black men since they left the slave plantation. Black women have been abused and used by black men. They have never appreciated what they had in black women, and they still don't. Even when I was a kid going with my mother and my grandmother to the sewing circle, there would always be talk about men in town, and this is a small town, but they were beating their wives. They would not call the police on them because they knew what the police would do if they came to that house. And that's what the women were saying. I'm not going to call the police on my husband. I'm not going to call the police on him. So what women would do who were in that situation, the women and their children would try to calm daddy down. Sometimes he would be drunk, and sometimes he was just mean and abusive. And black women have always taken this, and black women have not talked about this. And I don't understand why, but they have not talked about this. But black women would not weaponize the police against them. But white women are different. And these black men need this lesson that white women and white men are going to teach them, because it's going to vindicate black women. Now, they might take abuse from white men, but they're not going to take it from black men, because black men have put these women up on a pedestal, and they want to be on that pedestal. And if they knock them off that pedestal by trying to abuse them, they're going to pay a price for that. So apparently, Jonathan Majors has jungle fever. He has a daughter by another Becky. And this is a conversation that he had with W Magazine in June. Jonathan explained getting a call from his daughter's mother, who said, "Look, I need you to talk to your daughter. She's frustrated and she's angry because her hair won't fall down. Her hair grows up." So Jonathan dispensed fatherly advice over FaceTime. "You have a crown," he told his biracial daughter. "That's why your hair grows up. Your hair, your crown, came from daddy, came from his mama, came from his father, came from his sister. Sometimes that crown can get you in trouble in this world, and it's not right. And some people want to take that crown from you." So what it seems like is that he has a biracial daughter who looks like him, who has hair like him. Hopefully she doesn't look like him. And she's frustrated. And what this sounds like is that he has not taken her around his family. That she doesn't know what her grandmother's hair looks like. She doesn't know what her aunt's hair looks like, what her cousin's hair looks like, what her grandfather's hair looks like. She doesn't know that her hair is supposed to look somewhat like it does because of her father. So this is another black man who has a child by a white woman, and he's not present enough in her life to help her establish her identity. And that is what leads to an identity crisis, which is prevalent among biracial children. This is really very sad. I know black men think that's cute, going out getting these children by white women, but this is very sad, because it says that he's not spending enough time with her, and he is not taking her around his black family members so she would understand why her hair looks like theirs. Just another trifling Negro is all I can say. So he was arrested Saturday morning, and it was trending all over social media, so it was a worldwide event now, and he insisted that he was innocent. What they said happened was that he was at a bar with his girlfriend, and they left the bar and were in an Uber, and he was texting some other woman. He's with the girlfriend, and he's texting somebody else. So that right there is disrespectful, because if he wanted to text another woman, he should have done that once he was out of sight of the girlfriend. When you start doing that, you need to let the person know, you know what, this is not as serious as you thought it was. Because clearly she thought it was more serious because she tried to take the phone or something or other, and then some type of physical altercation took place. And it's been fuzzy. I'm not going to try to go through the whole thing. He ended up arrested. That's the bottom line. He ended up arrested, and then by Monday, she had recanted the whole thing. But the damage had already been done, and people who wanted to get their licks in on him got their licks in before she recanted and said it didn't happen. Statements are being released that fans of the Marvel series are demanding that he is recast in whatever movie he's supposed to be in or movies he's supposed to be in. So the fallout has already begun. Right after it was reported that he was arrested, a lot of negative comments and charges came out on social media against him. This came up on my Twitter page. 2 directors have shared allegations of John Major's alleged past abusive behavior following the actor's arrest. I mean, the ink wasn't even dry on the arrest warrant or the arrest or whatever they do when they book them before they had this on social media. So these people already had this on their minds that they were going to put this out there on him. And there are other things that are coming out about him. Very negative press coming out about John Majors. Somebody has it in for him. That's what it sounds like to me. Some people, some black men are saying, well, they set him up, they set him up. I think that's entirely possible. This woman lied, apparently, on him. For what? He's supposed to be a boyfriend and you're going to lie to the police on him? According to reports, they parted ways on Friday night but ended up in the same apartment on Saturday morning where there must have been another altercation of some sort. He was the one that called the police. Nobody knows what that was about. But when the police got there and saw who the players were, he's the one that left them in a squad car. So this is what a lot of black men do. They get a taste of success and then they go off chasing their fantasy. And very often, their fantasy turns out to be their ruin. Proverbs 26:11 says, as a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. So these fools just repeat their folly over and over and over again. God bless them. It's self-destruction. There's no other way to call it. Self-destruction, or as I say, stupid. Stupid is still a word. So Dr. Umar Johnson decided he was going to come out and decided he was going to be an advocate for Jonathan Majors. And here he is again, blaming it on the white woman, which I do not. I don't blame this on the white. Well, I blame her for lying. If she lied on him, I blame her for lying on him. And maybe being a part of a setup, possibly. Especially if she got paid, that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't blame her for this at all. I blame him. He has poor judgment. These women have a history with black men. And they haven't tried to hide that history. So if they want to ignore their history, they do it to their own detriment. And if somebody offered her some money to set him up for a big headline arrest, then a lot of women would have taken that, especially if he is abusive and if he's disrespectful. So it doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But Dr. Umar Johnson said he was snow bunny. He says, I'm standing with my brother on this unless he is proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. He's the strongest black alpha male in Hollywood right now. This could just be a scheme to feed into the toxic masculinity narrative pushed by the radical feminists and rainbow gangers. Well, it could be all of that. I'm saying there are enough successful black men in Hollywood now that you could follow their example. They've never been arrested. They've never had directors coming out saying horrible things about them. And not only directors, other people that have worked with him, saying awful things about him, saying he's an awful person. So I'm not sure who's telling the truth, but that's what they're saying about him. So if nothing else, I'm going to call stupid on this, but also poor judgment. So you've chosen as a partner a woman who would lie to the police on you, knowing what the history of black men in America is with the police. Your star has just begun to rise, and this is who you have chosen to be your partner. It's very poor judgment, and it's stupid. If he can dig himself out of this hole, I'll say good for him. But it seems like he's made some powerful enemies in Hollywood. He doesn't have any power except what they give him. So if he goes out there and messes that up, he's in a mess. But again, stupid is still a word, and that's what I'm going to call it. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.